All right, the debate is Drew Scott followed me on Instagram yesterday, one of the property brothers, and I've met Drew Scott a couple times. I would even say I know him, but I interviewed him yesterday, and it won't be on for a bit. But going into it, I didn't know if he'd know that he knew me. He did, thank God.
Or remember that he met you?
Well, yeah, I just don't take for granted that anybody knows who I am, and he's famous, and he's met a lot of people. Mm-hmm. But even before he started, he was like, dude, how you been? I hadn't seen you in a while. And so we're just talking, and I'm like, oh, thank God. Like because I don't think anybody remembers me. But we've had a couple like long, more than 15-minute hangouts. And that's pretty significant. You spend over 15 minutes with somebody. It's more than just in passing. We played a Folds of Honor softball game together once and just hung out the whole day. And he's the one that was really adamant about, if you've never danced, you should do Dancing with the Stars. It'll be so fun. Because he had never danced, yeah. So, and he remembered that. And he also came up while I was doing the show and hung out. And like we had lunch up there. So even with all that, guys, I didn't know. I just don't think anybody knows or remembers, especially if you like live in Hollywood. It's so fake out there.
Yeah.
It's so fake. Like if you are a benefit to somebody, they will be your friend. But as soon as you're not, they don't care anymore. And that's all the way across the board. And there's an understanding that that's the case. So it's just normal. And not that he was that at all, but I just have that association with being out there. And yeah, him and his wife came, had lunch. It was great. So we get on, we're talking. We do an hour or so. And we get off. And so he followed me on Instagram. And I thought, oh, dang, he followed me. Look at the no ego on his part to follow me when I don't follow him. Because sometimes I won't do that.
Oh, that's your ego?
Probably, yeah. I think so. I'm trying to really be... Like some days I wake up and I say, no ego, no ego. And some of my ego is from insecurity. Most of my ego is from insecurity.
I would say that's the truth for a lot of people.
Yeah. So, and I know it's rooted in insecurity, not in entitlement because I've achieved. Because I think it can be both. But I think mine is mostly rooted in just being insecure. So if I see someone that I know, like I think like Thomas Rhett doesn't follow me. And I'm like, screw him, I ain't following him.
Oh, and you know him really well.
I know him really well. Huh. But also some people just aren't as Instagrammy as we are.
That's true. He's the one that takes breaks for like 6 months at a time.
I don't hold that against him personally because I like him a lot. So much so that I don't call him Thomas Rhett. I call him TR. Like I feel like I know him well enough that I call him what normal people call him. But he doesn't follow me, so I won't follow him. There's no way. So I saw Drew Scott followed me, and I said, man, what a guy. So I went over. And I'm going to follow him. But he follows over 2,000 people. Then I realized I'm just a number.
I don't, for however many followers he has, which is what?
2.7 million?
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
2.7 million following 2,000 people isn't that crazy. However, TR has 4.9 million followers and he only follows 527. So I see your point. Like if TR, if this was that situation, you would be like, oh, okay, is 500 still in that where you'd be like, okay, you're not a nobody.
Yeah, I'm not a nobody. Yeah, he doesn't follow me, and so
I just checked that too.
Yeah, that's okay.
I was double checking because I could have swore he did.
I'm seeing who.
Sometimes I look.
And then when someone doesn't follow you, do you go to see like who they're following and be like?
I just did. I went to see our mutual friends.
There we go.
Who he's following, and so artist-wise, like people that I would consider myself friendly or friends with, Morgan Evans, Russell Dickerson, boxing trainer, but he had him first before I was working with him. So Larry, Ryan Hurd. But the artist thing is fine because the artists follow artists.
Sure.
Brett Eldridge.
I mean,
you're going to follow Brett? It's like one of my best friends. But yeah, that's one I've held on to for a while that I'm going, but I don't think he does that. I don't think he Instagrams that much. So I also know that. But I just thought it was cool of Drew to follow it until I went to his page and he's followed 2,000. But I shouldn't be looking for a reason to be offended because sometimes I do that too. I feel like I subconsciously look for a reason to be offended. So then I have a chip on my shoulder and I'll prove that,
right.
You know?
But do you have TR's number? Like, do you ever text with him?
The answer is not no, but not normally.
Okay. But you could text him if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Okay, see, that's better than a follow.
Follows respect.
To someone that does that.
The last time TR and I texted was a year ago.
Okay.
So we don't text normally. But
Was it about like a game or something?
Pickleball or
No.
chopping wood.
Georgia Bulldogs.
I took a picture of him doing something and I said intensity.
Oh.
So it's like just something
Working out?
funny. Nah, he's like singing or something. And he said, ha ha, the most intense. And I said, have a good show. And then it was just, I bet it's normal stuff, right?
Yeah.
But no, yeah. So anyway, Drew Scott was awesome. I can't wait for you guys to hear that. It's going to be a couple weeks. But I was happy he just remembered hanging out with me because I didn't expect him to.
Question about Drew Scott. In the interview, do you guys talk about his brother, like, or does he just get tired of talking about his twin brother?
Okay, so interesting you asked that. I was talking with him and I said, do you like doing stuff by yourself so you're just not always a duo? Because I'm sure you guys have your pattern. Like when it's both of them doing an interview, it's like if a duo or a band comes in. That's why I don't like interviewing bands as a whole, because they have their little gimmicks and games and little things they say because they've all worked it out.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody can get in the mix. And I was like, don't you like doing stuff by yourself sometimes, like without your brother? And because you get to like be you. And it was like, yeah. And he didn't commit to being like, I love doing stuff by myself. But I bet you that's the case.
Yeah.
That they both do. Because Jonathan, his brother, just got a daytime talk show. And Drew's like been in movies.
Wow.
And he's got 2 movies coming out where he is, because he's a black belt in karate, where he's doing like some action stuff. And they don't need to work. They have hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yeah, I would think just if you have a brother or a twin that you do everything with, it's kind of refreshing to do like an interview without him.
Or anything.
Anything. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, there's safety. And, when he started, I don't want to run the whole interview, but I don't care. When he started, he was doing stuff by himself and he got his brother involved. Like they did stuff as kids growing up, but he was like trying to be an actor. He was doing improv. He went on a show called Realtor Idol in Canada, where they were like looking for like fun realtors for like a show.
Real estate?
Yeah.
Oh, Realtor Idol?
Yeah,
That's
Realtor Idol.
funny.
Oh.
Yeah. But I had a good time with him yesterday. And I don't like doing virtuals. Hate him. Don't do many of them. But I did that one yesterday because I like him. And they have like so many shows going on at once. And I was asking him, what's the difference? And finally he goes, I don't know. There's a lot of difference in these, man. I'll be honest with you. He's like,
funny.
He's like, they just want us to do shows, so we do them because people watch them. So yeah, that's what I did yesterday. Let's do stories, Amy.
Minnesota grandmother who's 82 years old spent months fighting a state rule that prevented her assisted living facility from serving alcohol, and she won.
Yeah. Happy hours.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of unplanned pregnancies.
Anita LeBrun argued that growing older shouldn't mean giving up everyday pleasures like a happy hour with friends, telling lawmakers residents shouldn't have fewer freedoms than anyone else. The law takes effect this Saturday. The Minnesota Governor, Tim Walz, signed a bipartisan legislation dubbed Grandparents' Happy Hour.
That's cool.
Weird they couldn't have alcohol, huh?
I know. So weird. Like they're not responsible enough to consume alcohol. They're in their 80s, 90s.
I know. It makes me think of On Landman. Anybody else here watch that?
No, but I've thought about it a couple times.
Thought about watching it?
Yeah.
You would like it.
I think I would.
So the mom and the daughter, they volunteer at this old folks home and they sneak them in alcohol and make margarita. And these people, they just want to have fun. They load up on a bus one day and take them to a club.
That's funny.
That's fun.
But then people come by and they're getting in trouble and they kind of stand up like, these people sort of similar to this, like deserve to have fun too. And it's kind of cute.
That's so true. Like we assume they just want to play bingo because they're old.
But they want to play boozy bingo.
They want to party, man.
Yeah, at 2 p.m.
I think they want to
party.
be stationary and do stuff. I mean, that's why bingo's fun for old people, because you can be stationary and do it.
Yeah.
You can be stationary and drink too.
Right. You can
The
sit
problem
there.
is, though, if I'm playing devil's advocate, and only because I believe they should be able to have alcohol. You give an old person alcohol and they trip, or they have
Right.
any sort of, because you stumble.
Because you're dizzy.
Yeah.
You're physically impaired. And so if you fall and you break a foot, ankle, hip,
It could be your
it
death.
It doesn't heal back.
No, I get it, but you can make them sign something, right? To
Sure,
like,
sure.
But they're so old. How do they know what they're signing?
It's on you, man.
Well, hold on. My dad lived at one of these places. Some people are very aware. They're not like totally out of it. But what I will say, based on the knowledge I have from where my dad lived, is they're on a lot of different medications and sometimes mixing that with alcohol.
Good call.
Like, you would just have to really keep a watchful eye on who's on what and what they're allowed to have.
So you give them bracelets, right? And then when old Henry comes up, you're just like, Henry, you can't have alcohol.
It just is a little more complicated than people think because you go, old people should be able to drink. And then once you go, well, if they are impaired and they fall, it's worse for them than us. The medication that they're probably on because they're old, then now you have to monitor every single person and what and how much they're drinking based on the medication they're taking. And does someone who works at a facility need to have that burden on them as well? So there are a lot of factors that actually make sense as to why the law was, but let it rip, you know?
Yeah, man. I remember my grandfather, when I go visit one of my grandpas, he would always tell me, like, will you bring me a pack of cigarettes next time?
That I'm okay with. Not inside, but outside because you're not really impaired.
And I'd be like, Grandpa, I'm 14 years old. I can't buy cigarettes.
Lunchbox, your story.
Yeah, you know, Eddie had a couple saves as a lifeguard. I mean, and I think about him now, and I'm like, man, what a sissy save. Because I watched this 16-year-old guy from Santa Cruz, California. He's a lifeguard, and there's a 10-year-old that gets taken out into the churn this weekend. And this 16-year-old goes out there, and I mean, these waves are boom, knocking him all over the place. And people are trying to come out and help him. He's like, you guys get back, get back. And these waves just relentless, boom, boom, boom. And he got that freaking 10-year-old to safety. It was unreal.
Yeah, I saw it.
Why would you have to compare Eddie, though, in that situation and not
Because
just celebrate the
Eddie's were
16-year-old?
At a pool, and I'm like, oh, man, he must have had a cool save. And he's like, oh, I pushed someone in, jumped in, and saved him. And I'm like, well, that's pretty cool. But I see this, and I'm like, this is real lifeguarding.
I think they can be independent, though.
Yeah, there are two different kinds of lifeguarding. I was never a beach lifeguard. Like, to me, the beach lifeguards were legit.
Major league?
Yes. I was more AAA baseball at the pool.
A beach lifeguard is risking their own life.
Yeah.
Because they're out wide open ocean, waves, current, churn, whatever that is.
Whatever churn is.
Yep. And then a pool, let's say you go and you try to save someone and then you drown. Well, somebody can jump in and save you pretty easily.
Sure, because there's a lot of people there.
Yeah. I appreciate you being aware that you're only AAA.
I am. And it's funny because my kids they bring up that the save where I pushed the lady in, and they actually wanted to hear the story like 3 days ago. And I was like, all right, here's the story I'm going to tell it for the last time. There was a lady who was sitting on the side of the pool, and she kept talking about, like, I don't know how to swim. I don't know how to swim. I'm like, come on, you're 50 years old. Like, you know how to swim. She's like, no, I really don't. So I pushed her in. Turns out she really couldn't swim. And she was like, help, help. So I jumped in and saved her.
That
That's
save
the
does
story.
not count. Right, yeah.
I would say both count. One, bad at the beginning.
Yes, bad. Stupid
But
of
you
me.
did save her, but you did something stupid. I think they should just be in different stat categories. Stupid things, that's the first one. A save, absolutely. Because had you not jumped in to save her, she probably would have drowned.
Correct.
Like, both can be true.
Yeah. Dude, and I thought I was going to get fired. Like, I was just waiting. That whole week, I'm like, I'm waiting for the call. She's going to go to the boss, the superintendent, and I'm going to get fired for sure.
That's cool for that 16-year-old kid to go out and do that.
That's really cool, Lunchbox.
But you saw that video, Eddie. You're right. Those waves were unreal.
That was not little, like, Florida beach. That was big waves coming in.
Is there an ocean that has bigger waves than the other? Like, is the Atlantic known as a big wave more so than the Pacific?
I would say the Pacific.
I say the Pacific has more.
Yeah, because there's a spot in Northern California they call the Mavericks. I mean, you're talking 40-plus feet, sometimes 100 feet.
Or like Hawaii, that's why everybody there goes to.
But is it because of the ocean or is it because of where it's located, like geographically on the planet? Like, is there an ocean that's known to have waves and one that isn't? Or is it just where it is on Earth? Do you guys know that answer?
I don't know the answer, but I do know that, like, in Africa, in South Africa, on the west side of Africa, they get really good waves. So the west side of America, we get really good waves. So I'm thinking that it's something with the way the currents move.
We can look it up.
Something west.
That is usually the colder air will push more waves and create more waves in the West Coast.
But you agree, Scuba, with the
Yeah,
west?
do the West Coast. Oh my God, like Stinson Beach up in NorCal, or and like the Maverick, like you said. That's where the surfing competitions are at. And then of course you got Hawaii where they do a lot of surfing as well.
Mike, what do you see? Is there one ocean?
Yeah, same Pacific Ocean.
So does the Atlantic have waves at all? Can you surf in the Atlantic?
Yeah, you can surf.
Oh my God, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
We grew up surfing there.
Hurricanes, of course.
Yeah, especially hurricane season.
Let me just ask.
Wait, you don't trust what we're saying?
Yeah, dude, I was a surfer.
No, because you
Hey, dude,
guys,
we all surf. We're humans. Guaranteed.
you
to
guys
win.
aren't. You guys aren't surfers.
I surfed for sure.
Yeah, we
but
did.
that doesn't
I grew
make you
up-
a surfer. I paintballed. I'm not a paintballer.
I went almost every weekend as a kid. Until I was about 18, 19.
Could you have been a professional surfer if you'd had a dad?
NBA, surfer, you name it, dude.
Let me ask ChatGPT. Hello. Is it possible to surf in both the Atlantic and Pacific Ocean? And is there an ocean where surfing is preferable than the other because one has bigger waves than the other?
Yeah, you can surf in both. The ocean itself isn't the deciding factor. It's the coastline's exposure to swell, wind patterns, and the shape of the seafloor. That said, the Pacific generally gets more consistent and bigger swells, places like Hawaii, Tahiti, Chile, parts of Australia because of long fetch storms and deep ocean trenches. The Atlantic can be excellent too. Think hurricane swells on the East Coast or winter storms in Europe, but it's often more seasonal and variable. So if you're chasing consistency and big waves, the Pacific usually wins. But on the right day, the Atlantic can fire too.
Is there a reason your voice has changed a little deeper?
No special reason. I'm just talking.
Okay.
Can I have your voice pitch up just a little in perpetuity?
Sure, no problem. I'll keep it a touch lighter from here on out.
Dude, something's wrong with her.
She went.
Sounds like she's
I feel like
sick.
she went down to say
He's
that.
exhausted.
She sounds like drunk.
I use her all the time. She's like,
Not again.
oh God.
I was going to ask you that. Like, do you think maybe you're using her too much? Where
Yeah,
she's
she's
just like,
tired.
She
again.
does sound tired.
She needs water.
She's dehydrated.
I told you my phone sucks. Sucks.
Oh, maybe
that
it's
could-
your
yeah,
phone.
That could be your phone.
Eddie, you.
Oh, it's funny. Lunchbox kind of had a story that reminded him of me. I have a story that reminds me of him. In San Antonio, two dudes are golfing at the Quarry Golf Club, and a fight breaks out between them two. One of them hits the other one with a golf club during the fight, and what does the other one do? Stabs him
With.
a knife. Crazy part about all this is they're long buddies. They've known each other for years. They were the two playing out there together. Like, it's not like they fought about something separate or they were in two different groups on the golf course. They played together, and I guess it just kind of, got to the top of their anger and just they decided to fight it out.
Came to a head.
Yeah, we saw Lunchbox almost get in a club fight with one of our other friends.
We had to break them
We
up.
had to break them up. They grabbed.
I don't
I don't
remember if
remember
I
this.
grabbed a friend, the lunchbox. Or,
You weren't there.
Well, but you'd think I'd remember the
I don't
story.
think we've talked about it.
Wait, what?
oh, we don't talk about it very often.
Yeah. We're playing golf and they're about to beat each other down with clubs.
I will say there were clubs that were like
Lifted.
ready to be swung at each other.
Okay.
You remember that lunch?
Yeah, I remember it.
So how did it come to a head like that? Like, how can you relate to the story Eddie told?
I'll tell you, he ran his mouth all day, and then on the last hole, I said, "All right, let's bet $100 on this hole. Whoever gets a better score," and and he was like, "No, I'm not going to do that." And I'm like, "Well, you've been talking all day about how good you are. You're better than me at golf, blah blah blah, whatever." And I was like, $100, and whatever. And I hit a bad shot or whatever, and then about halfway through the hole, he starts mouthing like, "I see. Aren't you glad you didn't bet that 100?" Next shot, he hit it in the water, and I was like, "No." And then we got done at the green. And he was still talking, and that's when the clubs came out.
Dude, it was crazy.
Like, how did the club come out? Like
he
you pull
lifted
it
it
back
ab-
like a baseball bat?
Yes.
Lifted above his head like
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
going to pound
yeah,
him.
yeah.
No.
Yes. And then Bobby grabbed one, I grabbed the other. I don't remember who I grabbed.
Oh,
but
person?
yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the clubs.
Okay.
I'm all for talking trash and you want to fight, okay. Like, I'm not all for that, but you want to fight, that's okay too. But then you can't, no clubs.
Mm-hmm.
No.
As Lunchbox is telling this story, I'm thinking this could have been exactly what happened at the golf course because I try to look like
And they were friends forever too.
friends forever.
It was two people that have a little, like, slight issues with rage at the same time. And it just,
Well, I now know who you're talking about,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I just from piecing it together. And it is interesting. If y'all wouldn't have intervened, what would have
They would've
happened?
They
killed
would have
each
hit each
other.
other with golf clubs.
Yes, they would have killed each other.
Because it was the perfect mix. It was the two warm front, cold front hitting
So
at the
like if
exact
one of them
right
had a
time.
knife, they'd be like that other guy.
And
I don't
they-
know if they would have knifed. I honestly don't think Lunchbox would have stabbed him. I think he'd have beat him in the head with a club, but I don't think he would have
What?
stabbed him.
Not beat him in the head.
you don't understand. Like
Maybe the ankle.
no, Scuba talks about blacking out when he
Yeah,
was
it
at
was that.
Ross
You've
or
seen
whatever.
Lunch rage out. You know our other friend rages as hard as Lunchbox
Oh,
does.
rager.
It's a bad mix.
Yeah, but I think they both also, I mean, a little fight maybe would have broken out, but I don't know about like,
But they had clubs in the air. What's odd is they're both good people, but when the rage hits, it's like Bruce Banner turns into Incredible Hulk.
I remember feeling it escalate on that last hole.
Oh, really?
I remember that. Like, this is getting bad.
That other friend, who's a friend, we were playing golf once, and since I worked on a golf course for a long time, I would see, and I got hit with a couple balls, but never in the head. Never like Kane got hit, Kane Brown. But I got hit a couple times, and it hurts. But I would see other guys that did maintenance get nailed in the neck or the head. We had to wear helmets if we were anywhere on a green, but it would tear someone up. And so I get really upset when someone hits on us, and someone hit on us. It could have been an accident, though. So we look back. It's me and that friend that Lunchbox was going to beat down with the club. And I look back, and they hit again, and they hit on us. And I'm like, all right, I don't want to have to do this. But if I have to fight, I'm going to fight. So they're coming, and I'm waiting for them. And I have that other friend with me. And it's going to be 2-on-4. That's fine. I'm so mad, I'm willing to get beat up, is basically what it is. And then I look back for my backup when they're getting here, and he had driven off in the golf cart, and I'm by myself. I'm by myself with no golf cart with 4 guys up on me.
so what do you do?
I stand my ground, but just a little less aggressively.
So like,
Guys, you can't hit on us. You've almost hit us with the ball twice.
thank you, goodbye.
I didn't even have a way to. I had to then I had to walk off. I was like, okay, bye guys. Walk.
It's a weird sport. Like that happens so often. People get so mad on golf courses because I guess lack
And
of
it should be such a calming sport.
Alcohol, though.
Is it
Alcohol's
because
a
it's
good
such a
one.
frustrating sport?
I would say alcohol, sure, frustration,
Because
and
it's so mental. And then once you,
Well, I think a lot of it too is like it's a sport where you have to be aware
Yeah.
of like your surroundings and if you're slowing someone down or what. Like you have to be aware of everyone else on the course, and some people just aren't, and it looks like lack of respect.
I think at some courses there's a real entitlement to some of the people that are playing, especially if they're rich. It's a rich person sport for sure.
No, that's true.
And so I think all of those, but I think alcohol is the number one factor when people fist fight because you're drinking while you're playing. But yeah, I almost got beat down. And then I looked back and my backup was gone. I was like, right. Nobody. Oh God. I'll give you one more story. While climbing this mountain, he impaled himself with a stick. So he was climbing this 13,000-foot mountain. He slipped on a rock, and one of the hiking poles went through him, like his side, stabbed him. And so he's a nurse, and he was able to kind of pull it out, but he had to backtrack for 10 miles with like this gaping hole inside of him. Some of the stick was still in there too because he knew not to pull it all the way out.
Whoa.
But he had to pull. He couldn't walk with the stick hanging from him. But he was impaled by a hiking pole and had to walk 10 miles.
how
6.5 hours.
tragic.
They removed the rest of the pole once he got to the hospital. He was treated. He lived,
Yeah, he made it.
but he had to track 6.5 hours, 10 miles with part of a pole still in him.
That's painful
I
just to
saw-
even hear
look at
about.
this.
Yeah, the picture's pretty terrible.
Yeah. Look at that. Oh, my God.
I saw a turkey the other day on the golf course, speaking of golf course, with an arrow stuck in him. Chilling, dude. Living his life.
That sucks.
Aw, who shot him?
I don't know.
There wasn't a name on the arrow. We don't.
That would have been good to find the person, but
Yeah.
no name.
We would catch fish sometimes with other hooks on them and,
Yeah.
lures in their throat.
But this turkey was just acting like it was just a regular
Yeah.
day.
That's crazy. What'd you do yesterday? Anything?
Just a lot of work things. And I had my, after I got done with all that, around 6 p.m., I did a weightlifting workout all on my own. I ordered these Bowflex weights that are adjustable because the heaviest dumbbell I have at home is 15, and that was even my daughter's, like not mine. But I got the adjustable, so that way the stronger I get, I can add to it. I haven't built up to that yet, but I unboxed them. I've had the dumbbells, to be honest, for about a week now, but I finally unboxed them
Thank you for your honesty.
and did my first workout, and it's so cool. Whoever invented
I
that,
know. We have some too.
it's so
Adjustable?
legit. Yes,
How
because
does that work?
it sits on a stand, and it's got like little tiny plates that go on each end of the dumbbell, and it's like a clock, like tick, tick, tick. You put it on whichever, like say I wanted 12.5 was the highest I went yesterday, but I started at 7.5 because I wasn't sure, but I was like 7.5, pulled the dumbbell out, and it had enough weight for 7.5 on each side. And then I dropped it back in, put it on 12.5, picked it up. All of a sudden, you got a 12.5 pound dumbbell. I could plop it down and have a 50 pounder if I want.
So the rest of the weight stays on the rack.
On the rack,
whatever.
in
Got it.
little tiny little,
That's cool.
And turning the gear connects it or disconnects at whatever level.
yeah, sit like a gear.
Smart.
Yeah.
It really is. I was like,
It's cool.
well, shout out. So,
I don't use. We have a whole set of dumbbells that I use, but my wife uses the adjustable ones.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a good invention.
I was thoroughly impressed with that because I don't know. It's either that or I need to join a gym because I don't have. And to do some of the moves that I was doing, I needed different equipment, but I made it work with like my coffee
Dang,
table.
moves? What kind of complicated moves are you doing?
Well, this one where you had to like lay back and like put the dumbbell on your hips and
Lift
then
your butt?
rest up. Yeah.
Yeah.
That one, I did
weird.
that on a little.
Record that. That'll get a
No.
lot of views.
I'm not
We'll
recording
put it
that.
on YouTube.
Now that I'm doing a lot of our Instagram, we get a lot of views if you do that one.
No, but I did that on this little stool thing that I have that's like got fabric on it so it didn't hurt my back. And then my step ups I did on my coffee table. I mean, I was just having to look around my house and be like, what would work for this? So I don't know. What'd you do?
I made a not mature decision doing step ups yesterday because I'll sometimes work out in socks.
Oh,
And that was stepping up on and it's kind of slick leather anyway. It's just a
Oh,
bench.
man.
And I slipped while doing because I have like 40s in each hand trying to do step ups.
You hurt your ankle?
In socks. No, I just slipped. I was like, I'm not doing any more step ups. It wasn't the greatest decision. I don't like to wear shoes in the gym sometimes because it tracks dirt in there.
I know, but safety.
You're right.
You know?
And most of the times I do if I'm doing legs because I don't even like to do lunges in socks because it hurts my little toes.
yeah.
So, because if I do lunges, I'll do weights. It hurts my feetsies. So, yesterday I just worked out, did a Bobbycast interview. I just try to be clear now by about 5:30 because it's about bath time for Billy. It is priority for me. I think I've only missed 2 or 3 since she was born, and I know at times I'm gonna have to miss, but I really carve out that time just to do that, and it's a good hour and a half. It's bath, it's the whole thing, getting ready for bed. But yeah, that was me yesterday. You, Eddie?
Busy day yesterday. It's stressful because my wife had a doctor's appointment.
Oh boy, I know. I was freaking out.
Dude, I was freaking out.
Eddie got in trouble mid-show.
Yeah. She's
had
like, I have a doctor's appointment. Like, will you be here in 15 minutes? I'm like, no, I can't make it in 15 minutes.
It was like we were here still at 12:30 working, and
Yeah.
it's like oh
I
my
heard
god.
him freak out, but I didn't know why.
And I was like, dude, just tell me if you have to go. And he was like, no, it's fine. But that's what it was.
That's
right?
what it was. And I was just chilling. I'm like,
Did you forget about the doctor's appointment?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Oh.
And then I was like, when I finish, like, it's no big deal. And she's just like, I have to leave in 15 minutes. So as soon as we were done, I'm like, I got to go, guys. So I had to go home, and then I came back to work. And then my son had a basketball game, which was only like 10 minutes away from work. So that was helpful. And then last night was my dinner night.
Oh gosh.
Your dinner night.
Yeah, because
you
he
know, I
has
have
to
to
cook
do
dinner
dinner
now.
3 days a week now.
He was
Oh,
running
yeah.
his big mouth, and now he has to cook.
Dang,
So
got
last
him.
night was my dinner night. Went to Trader Joe's, picked up some frozen Mandarin chicken. So good.
That's a packed day.
Packed.
Eddie ran out of the room yesterday where I thought something was really wrong. And I texted him right after. I said, are you okay? And he's like, yeah. I forgot my wife had a doctor's appointment. And we have 4 boys at home and it's summer. And I was like, oh, okay.
You're like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, it's on me.
I said,
We're
you
all
just
good."
tell me.
Oh, well, yeah. But yeah, he forgot.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Lunchbox yesterday?
Yeah, we went and had hibachi last night. My sister's in town with her 3 kids, so we went and had a little fun dinner where they cook in front of you for the first time. My sister's kids had never done it, and so we just kind of went and had a night at the hibachi grill, and then we called my mom. It was her birthday and sang happy birthday, and that was about it.
Virgin hibachi, highlight of life.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool experience.
The first time when they're tossing in the pocket and the hat. And
I have a question.
Spinning
Volcano
it.
fires.
I have
Yes.
a question for Lunchbox. Lunchbox, as a kid, did you ever go to hibachi?
My first time I went was Lauren Meltzer's 16th birthday. We went to Tokyo Steakhouse. So I was 15. It was the first time I ever went.
So yeah.
So we went.
Okay,
But, like, your parents
did they
take
take
you?
you?
No, I didn't even know what it was till I went to Lauren Meltzer's birthday party.
I don't think I went until I was in my 20s, and I was blown away even then. I didn't need to be a kid. I was like, what the crap? This is like Disney
Yeah.
World. Disney World on a grill?
I remember it was so special to us. It was just a birthday place. Like if it was your birthday, you can go to Hibachi. When I went to college and I could just make my own decision and go to Hibachi whenever I wanted, it was mind blown. I went like 2 weeks straight.
That's funny. I remember I just had to stop because I would just fill up on rice every time.
Yes.
I would just be
Waiting
so
for your
full.
meat
Yes,
to
I'd
get
be
cooked.
so full of rice that I wouldn't even enjoy the rest of it.
They give that to you first.
Yes, I'm just bloated on rice. I don't even care about the steak or shrimp at this point. Like, do the show. I've eaten my rice. I can go. That's fun. Okay, let's take a break.
It's a Bobby Bones show.